Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 27. Are we at 27? I believe we're at 27. Hold on. Yes, pick 27. That's right. Sometimes you lose track a little bit of what picks we are on and things like that. You know, just trying to manage these lists. But anyway, pick number 27 of my favorite debut albums of all time. The top debut albums of all time. Very hard to just come up with 31. That's what we're doing each and every day this month here in October, because there's so many great debuts. But like we've been talking about, it's like there's a lot of like really notable bands where maybe that debut wasn't, it was okay, nothing special, but they really figured it out on album 2 or 3. We're not going to talk about those. We're going to talk about the ones who are right out of the gate. Boom, there you have it. And in some cases, with some of these bands and artists, maybe that debut album is the best thing they ever did. They never quite lived up to that, right? That may be the case on some of these as well. Maybe not for today. The debut album arguably could be the best album from this particular dude, or maybe the one after that, or the one after that. Right? There's a lot of really good albums in this, especially early on in this catalog. This particular debut album was released September 1975, recorded at the Sound Pit in Atlanta, Georgia, produced by Tom Werman for Epic Records. We're talking about Ted Nugent. Self-titled. That's right. The Motor City Madman. The Amboy Dukes basically put to rest. This was the band he helped form back in the late 60s. Number of albums in that whole kind of psychedelic rock, hard rock vein. You know, the Amboy Dukes did a lot of different things during the course of their career. Towards the end, the last couple of albums pretty much became less of a band and more of a vehicle. It basically became Ted's band, right? He took it from, more of like a democracy towards the end, and lots of lineup changes, and then towards the last couple albums, it was almost like Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes, and really the blueprint for this album and all the ones to come happened on those last two Amboy Dukes albums, right? They became more of kind of like what Ted really had in mind for the type of music he wanted to do going forward. And then once he put the band to rest, he was like, okay, now we're going to do the Ted Nugent band. I'm going to be in charge of who I want in the band and the direction and all that good stuff going forward. And that's what we got. And yeah, this is a, if you didn't already think that Ted was a guitar hero at that point, he really kind of cemented that with this particular album. So, of course, in the band, Derek St. Holmes on lead vocals on most tracks, rhythm guitars. Ted Nugent, lead and rhythm guitars, vocals. Rob Grange on bass. Cliff Davies on drums and backing vocals, lead vocals on one track as well, with a little help on the album from Stevie McRae on a little bit of keyboards, Brian Staffeld on percussion, and producer Tom Werman also helped out with some percussion and things in the studio. So what do we have on this particular album? You got some absolute classics here. Of course, opening up the album, you got the great Stranglehold, which gets my money for perhaps the greatest Ted Nugent song of all time. Just amazing. Lead vocals from, got both mostly Derek singing on that, but you do have a little bit of Ted on there. And that's like, it's one of those crazy radio tracks, right? That you've always heard Stranglehold on the radio, FM rock radio all throughout the years. But man, it's like 8+ minutes long, right? It's like one of those few lengthy tracks that somehow caught on with the general public, and it's a pretty classic, legendary song. Great riff, great guitar solo, a little jazzy guitar solo. Just a very cool song. I always liked it. It's kind of like the mid-tempo. It's just kind of like, it's kind of a plotter, but man, it really, really works. Love Stranglehold. More of the up-tempo bruising stuff that Ted was known for at the time. Stormtrooping just barely over 3 minutes long, but comes in, kicks your ass, and gets out. Just really, really good. Great chorus. Great vocal from Derek. Hey Baby's up next. Yeah, it's a pretty good song, right? Hey Baby's pretty good. Just What the Doctor Orders up next. That's another great one, another classic. If you could add from the first like 3 or 4 albums, you can probably come up with like 10 absolute drop-dead classic tracks from Nugent. That's definitely one of them. Then over on side 2, it starts off with the rousing, raucous Snakeskin Cowboys. Great riffs on that. Just a fun song. And then, of course, Motor City Madhouse, sung by Ted, another one of his drop-dead classic songs, especially from this particular album, Motor City Madhouse. It's so catchy. great guitar playing. Just really, really good. Where Have You Been All My Life? Not a bad song. You Make Me Feel Right at Home. Cliff sings that one. It's probably a reason why Cliff didn't sing a lot of songs, right? And then, but it's not a bad track. And then, of course, I really have always liked Queen of the Forest. I think Queen of the Forest is a really cool track, and I almost wish it was longer. It's got some cool parts, kind of atmospheric, cool little riff. I really dig Queen of the Forest. It's like one of those songs on this album that never really gets talked about. Saved for last. I kind of dig it a lot. I always dug this album cover, but isn't it weird? It's kind of like, out of focus and just kind of mysterious looking. And then if you get the CD reissue, which I have, the Legacy remaster, got this great concert shot of the band on the back from the Electric Ballroom. Very, very cool. Anyway, great album. As far as, charts and things like that, Australia made it to number 37. UK charts number 56. And peaked on the Billboard Top 200 album charts here in the States at number 28. And as far as certifications go, up in Canada, this made it to gold, 50,000 units sold. And here in the States, double platinum, 2 million copies sold. So this would start a run of top-selling albums for Mr. Nugent and Company that would last throughout most of the 70s. By the turn of the 80s, we would see Ted's popularity slip just a little bit as far as like album sales go. Still out there touring constantly, and then a bit of a rise again with the kind of the hair metal movement, the glam metal movement, whatever the hell you want to call it, where Ted and Company kind of participated in that a little bit and saw a little bit of interest in playing videos on MTV and stuff like that. But for sure, the heyday of Ted Nugent, the Ted Nugent Band, was in the 70s, starting with this album right up until probably like, State of Shock, Weekend Warriors, and, maybe one more album. By the time the self-titled Ted Nugent album came out, the band had pretty much already peaked by that point. But, all those other albums in the 70s, really good sellers. So, yeah, that is my pick for today. Ted Nugent, self-titled debut. Really good stuff. Great guitar tone on this, Again, he's playing the Birdland here. Just, one of the rare guys who played, hard rock / metal around this time period that was using like a semi-hollow body guitar and really getting some monstrous sounds out of it, which was always, I thought, pretty cool and pretty different, right? So, let us know what you think of Ted and the debut album, specifically. Not so much of Ted, but of this album, right? Let's leave all the political stuff and Ted's, crazy opinions on things kind of out of it today, because we're just talking about the album itself, and it's one of the greats. And let us know what you think of his debut down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today. Pick number 27 as we march our way towards number 1. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we've got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, and our Cameo page, and the Sea of Tranquility memberships. The join button's down below if you want to go investigate, see what kind of membership options we have. Thank you in advance, as always, for all your support in all these areas. And we'll see you in just a few short hours with the UK connection. It's Power Metal Day. We're going to be talking about our 3 favorite power metal albums from 1997. Join Simon, Stephen, and myself for that. Loads of fun, really good episode. And then, of course, tomorrow we got Ranking the Albums of Poco. Top 10 albums of Poco. Grant, Arthur, and myself will be doing that tomorrow morning, so stay tuned for that as well. Lots happening here on the channel, of course. We also got In the Prog Seat coming up on Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. That is our progressive metal episode. We're going to be talking about our top 10 favorite progressive metal albums of the 90s. So join us for that on Tuesday night, and lots more to come. I am Pete Pardo. Enjoy your weekend, everybody, but we'll see you soon here on here, right? That's right. Take care. Bye-bye.